BIAFRA, Superstars, Media. My people, my Biafran people, now how on a day, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This one, now Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say, may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendu Mazenam Kanu. May God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile. His Excellency, ESN, EKPA, Simon and Joko, for the job Simon is doing. Simon, I want to say we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. Because we know in your hands Biafra is coming. In your hands Biafra is safe. And in your hands, when Biafra comes, the people of Biafra will rejoice. My fellow Biafrans, today I come with good news. Today is a day to cry for joy. If you're a Christian, today is a day for you to call on Jesus and shout hallelujah. Today is an amazing day because over the weekend, we watched the live broadcast of our Prime Minister where he introduced the American lobbies that we have. Going forward, I will tag this one, the USA now supports Biafra. We saw the highly respectable, the highly reputable Jim Moran, who is a former congressman in the U.S. House of Rep. He's somebody I see, or I call a maverick, because he was there for so many years. I am so glad he has joined the Biafra Republic Government in Exile to be our, not even just to be a lobby member, but to be an advocate man. The person to be the advocate to speak for the Biafrans in America. He is the one to go into those diplomatic discussions and try to explain, rationalize the actions that we, the Biafrans, were taking to the American government and to the American people. We also have with him a man I respect, a young man who is doing great things in America, Mr. ELIAS GERASOULIS, who is a consultant with Livingston Group. My PM, when I saw this man as part of the team, I was blown away, because these are the men, these are the movers of America. These are people who have strong policies. These are policy swayers. These are policy influencers. And I think the Biafra Republic Government in Exile is in good hands. Without any much further ado, I want to play a snippet of the broadcast from our Prime Minister. And as you all know, I'm going to break it down line for line, words for words. So if you're ready for me, my people, you are ready with me? I say, let us go there. I present to you an amazing snippet from the discussion held just yesterday. Very, very fresh. If you're ready, let's go there. Listen.
You can bring all of them on the screen, please. Jim Moran, can give him access to a mute. Something.
I've made them co-host, both of them, so they can...
All right, thank you very much. And
well, thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Jim Moran. I served in the United States Congress for approximately a quarter of a century. I after I left the Congress, I began to represent some corporations and countries and causes that I believe in. It has been an honor to work with you, Your Excellency. ELIAS GERASOULIS is my partner. This is primarily Elias's account, but I'm going to be working with him. While I was in the Congress, I was on the committee that funds defense and the State Department foreign operations, as well as the Foreign Relations Committee. I have an interest in Africa. I was a principal co-sponsor of the African Growth and Opportunity Act. But most importantly, I do believe that Biafran independence is a just and noble cause. And I trust that you have a bright future ahead. We will try to secure your independence. We can't promise because the politics is not a particularly predictable situation in the United States today, and justice is not always served, but we will work towards that objective. I appreciate the opportunity to work on behalf of the Biafran people. And at this point, let me turn it over to Elias. Elias?
Oh, thank you, Jim. And it's an honor to be working with you on this. And we appreciate your lending, your support, someone of your prestige and stature. That association would be so critical. So thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. And thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, Your Excellencies, and dear Biafrans in the United States and around the world. My name is ELIAS GERASOULIS, and I am a good friend and colleague of Congressman Moran, and we are your new lobbyists here in Washington, D.C. However, you should know that we are more than just your lobbyists. We are fellow freedom fighters in the struggle for the liberation by Biafra. And similar to how your compatriots in the Biafran Defense Forces are securing your freedom on the homeland, we will be fighting for your freedom in the political and diplomatic battlefield here in Washington, D.C. And we will make sure that all these U.S. officials, all these congressmen and senators understand that the Biafran independence movement is a pure democratic civilian uprising against injustice, the very same one that we had in the United States when we declared our independence from the British 200 years ago. On a personal level, I knew I had to get involved in this struggle, not only because of my belief in the Biafran cause, but my belief in His Excellency, the Prime Minister Simon EKPA. As I got to know the Prime Minister, I could see that he has remarkable leadership qualities and vision. And I knew that instinctively that he was a man of destiny and that he will have a very important impact in Africa in the years to come. And I thought it was a personal duty to assist him. Already, the Prime Minister has made remarkable progress and has outsmarted the Nigerian system in many ways. The Prime Minister has done this with the self-referendum. He has done this with opening diplomatic liaison offices around the world. And I think by establishing a proper Biafran lobby in Washington, D.C., the Prime Minister has delivered his master stroke. And if you can look at the Nigerian media and the social media, you will see that this is something that's been highly publicized. And I think this is because they understand the moment that the United States starts to gain more support for the Biafran cause, it will be a game changer. Because when the United States leads, other countries follow. Congressman Moran and myself are your voice to the U.S. Congress, your voice to the White House, your voice to the State Department, your voice to the highest offices in this great land. And we will not stop until victory is achieved. Long live a free, independent, and sovereign Biafra. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that brilliant speech there. Elias, we're happy to have you on board, and we have a lot of things to do together. Thank you. This particular appearance today is just to present you to the Biafrans in the United States. As I made my promise, I have fulfilled it. It is now that we go out there and do what we know how to do best for the interest of Biafra.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. It's our honor, and we look forward to serving you in the cause. Should Congressman Moran and myself exit the Zoom now, or should we stay on?
Yeah, you can. You can all exit. I think we are good with this, and then we are going to see again, like we discussed before, when the time comes.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. Nice to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
Wow,
It was
wow,
a
my
pleasure
Lord,
to see
have
you again.
mercy. Lord, have
Working
mercy.
with you.
Thank you.
This is
Bye.
amazing. This is
Thank you.
amazing. My fellow BIAFRA'S, this is amazing. We thank the God of BIAFRA. We thank God for giving Simon Ekpa the wisdom, the strength, the fortitude to carry this out. It's not easy. You know, for us to have these two great colossus men on board, the great Jim Moran and the magnificent ELIAS GERASOULIS. You guys don't know what it means to have people like this. Because for Jim Moran, he has spent at least minimum of 25 years in the Congress of America. When he speaks, America listens. When he speaks, the Congress, they listen. When he speaks, the White House, they listen. When he speaks, the people in America, they listen. Amazing one. At this point, my people, no. I have to break this one down. You know how we get down with this analysis? This time, for the first time, I will do a very formal, in-depth analysis. I've not done that for a long time because I've been taking my time observing what is happening out there in the social media, and also not having time because of business and work and travel. But today, I am going to do an in-depth analysis. If you are ready with me, let's go there. Listen.
And
Well, thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Jim Moran. I served in the United States Congress for approximately a quarter of a century.
Hold it there. His name is Jim Moran, and he served in the United States Congress for at least a quarter of a century. I just said it. A century is 100 years. A quarter of a century should be 25 years minimum.
After I left the Congress, I began to represent some corporations and countries and causes that I believe in. It has been an honor to work with you, Your Excellency. ELIAS GERASOULIS is my partner. This is primarily Elias's account, but I'm going to be working with him. While I was in the Congress, I was on the committee that funds defense and State Department foreign operations, as well as the Foreign Relations Committee. I have an interest in Africa. I was a principal co-sponsor of the African Growth and Opportunity Act. But most importantly, I do believe that Biafran independence is a just and noble cause.
Yes, sir. Most of all, he does believe that the Biafra independence is a just and noble cause. This is a white man speaking. A white man from America, not a white man from Britain, who are playing some politics with the caliphate. It is a noble cause. The same way America got their freedom from Britain, where they told them, give me liberty or give me death. We have gotten to that stage now in the Biafra movement. Towards the liberation of Biafra, we say it is Biafra or nothing else. That is it. No other option. Biafra or nothing else. That is where we are going. But in the case of Jim Moran and his great America, they told Britain, give me liberty or give me death. They were ready to die for the process, and at the end, they got their freedom. In our own case, we are telling Nigeria, we are telling Britain, we are telling the Fulani Caliphate, we are telling the Nigerian government, we are telling the Fulani cabal, the rulers in high places. Because in the case of we the Biafrans, ours is multi-pronged. so many people to deal with, so many stakeholders, so many critical stakeholders in that contraption called Nigeria. Because Nigeria is a business, Nigeria is a contract, Nigeria is a company owned by Britain. When they first came in, they called it the Royal Niger Company. When you hear the royal there, it means it belongs to the kings, the rulers of Britain. And till this day, they still operate on that level. So we are saying when we get this freedom, our own fight for freedom, it is multi-pronged. We have to make sure we chop off all the tentacles of the octopus, because it is multi-pronged. The way you see it, we are dealing with the caliphate. We are dealing with even the Nigerian military. We are dealing with Boko Haram. We are dealing with ISWAP. We are dealing with ISIS. We are dealing with the Fulani killer headsmen dressed in Nigerian military uniform coming to the land of Biafra to kill us. It is multi-pronged. The approach we are using is dynamic, which is why we have these two great men on board, Mr. J. Moran and ELIAS GERASOULIS. This is needed. This was something I was praying to God for all this while, because the lobbies must come from America. America is the great land of hope. A great man once said, God bless you, God bless Miss Liberty, and God bless America. That's how it's done. So when you are seeking justice, you must look towards the face of America. Let's continue. Listen.
And I trust that you have a bright future ahead. We will try to secure your independence. We can't promise, because the politics is not a particularly predictable situation in the United States.
I agree. He said he will try to secure our independence. They will try to secure for us the Biafra independence. They cannot promise, as you know the way things are when it comes to politics, but they will try to secure the independence of Biafra. Today, I want to speak to Jim Moran. I want to say, Congressman, sir, we appreciate your words. You have spoken truth to power. You have spoken firmly. And we believe that you are highly reputable. And we have the confidence in you that you and your colleague, ELIAS GERASOULIS, will carry out this great task exceptionally and meticulously. So we are confident. All we need to do is be the ones out there in America. Because when Biafra comes, we shall uphold the same rules, the rule of law. We shall follow the same way America conducts herself. A country respected by all. The #1 country in the world. And God willing, Biafra will be the #1 country in Africa. Let's continue. Listen.
And justice is not always served, but we will work towards that objective. I appreciate the opportunity to work on behalf of the Biafran people. And at this point, let me turn it over to ELIAS. ELIAS?
Oh, thank you, Jim. And it's an honor to be working with you on this. And we appreciate your lending, your support, someone of your prestige and stature. That association would be so critical. So thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. And thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, Your Excellencies, and dear Biafrans in the United States and around the world. My name is ELIAS GERASOULIS, and I am a good friend and colleague of Congressman Moran, and we are your new lobbyists here in Washington, D.C. However, you should know that we are more than just your lobbyists. We are fellow freedom fighters in the struggle for the liberation by Biafra.
Hold it there, sir, with all due respect. He said they are more than just the lobbyists. They are also freedom fighters, fighting for the liberation of Biafra. They are more than just a lobbyist. Oh my God, have mercy. They are also, we should see them as freedom fighters, fighting for the liberation of a sovereign state of Biafra. How wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Elias. This is amazing. That's what they call when they say to go the extra mile. They are ready, they are willing to go the extra mile for Biafra to make sure we can actualize Biafra coming from the 2nd of December, 2024. Let's continue. Amazing. Amazing.
Similar to how your compatriots in the Biafran Defense Forces are securing your freedom on the homeland, we will be fighting for your freedom in the political and diplomatic battlefield here in Washington, D.C.
Amen to that. Well, this one is even self-explanatory. He just told us. Similar to the way our men, our voluntary force, our men on the ground in the homeland of Biafra, they're similar to the ways they are fighting for our freedom. Mr. Elias and Mr. Jim Moran will be doing the same in America. They'll be discussing with the Congress. They'll be discussing with the White House. They'll be discussing with all the stakeholders in America to make sure they understand the plight of we the Biafrans and to know that we have crossed the Rubicon. All we need now is freedom. We keep on telling you all, one day you will sleep in Nigeria and you will wake up in Biafra. This is the same theme that Mr. ELIAS GERASOULIS is echoing. So I re-echo the words and sentiments of Mr. Elias, where he said, just as the way our men in the homeland, just as the way the Biafra Liberation Army in the homeland are doing the God's work towards the liberation of the Biafran people, on a similar vein, they will also fight for the freedom of Biafra in America. They will take their battle to the Congress. They will take their battle to America. They will take their battle to the White House. They will make sure that all the critical stakeholders understand what we, the Biafrans, we are fighting for. Because we are saying enough is enough. We are done with that thing called Nigeria. We cannot find ourselves assimilating with a people that don't like us. Britain came and what they saw was the skin complexion. They assumed every black man is the same. They didn't understand before they came to Africa, people were living in tribes. People had their own kingdoms. There was war between Africans. But they came with always the false narrative that I am white and I say so. That attitude. They came and they made us one people. And before they left, they told the caliphate they were born to rule. And since then, the plight of the Biafran man in that so-called Nigeria has been something that even the devil cannot go through. We are saying enough of that nonsense. Henceforth, from the 2nd of December, we, the people of Biafra, we shall declare our freedom from that contraption called Nigeria. Enough of that nonsense. Enough. Let's continue.
And we will make sure that all these U.S. officials, all these congressmen and senators understand that the Biafran independence movement is a pure democratic civilian uprising against injustice, the very same one that we had in the United States when we declared our independence from the British 200 years ago. On a personal level, I knew I had to get involved in this struggle, not only because of my belief in the Biafran cause, but my belief in His Excellency, the Prime Minister Simon EKPA. As I got to know the Prime Minister, I could see that he has remarkable leadership qualities and vision. And I knew that instinctively that he was a man of destiny and that he will have a very important impact in Africa in the years to come. And I thought it was a personal duty to assist him. Already.
Listen to that. Look at the description of our Prime Minister, Obatobi, Mazi Simon EKPA. Look at a way a learned man, described our Prime Minister. But the Nigerian media, those who are paid by the caliphate, when they speak about Simon EKPA, they call him a criminal, they call him a charlatan, they call him a small boy, they call him a terrorist. They call on Finland to send him to Nigeria for him to be tried by a criminal country, a criminal government. When they speak about Simon Ekpa, they speak ill about a man coming to freedom. This is why our leader Nnamdi Kanu called the Nigerian media the Zoo media. And I tagged them. I came with a new phrase, the dirty, gutter, God-forsaken media. The gutter media. The Zoo, dirty, gutter, God-forsaken media. When they speak about Simon Ekpa, they call him all manners of names. The same way they did to Nnamdi Kanu. When the Zoo military went to the home of Nnamdi Kanu to kill him, they were all thanking God. They glorified God. They blessed the government of Muhammadu Buhari. They told him to display live on TV the lifeless body of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu after his home was invaded and 28 men died in the process. They assumed that he was dead. They assumed that the military of Nigeria had the video footage, the pictures of the lifeless body of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And sadly, all the different tribes in Nigeria, I repeat, all the tribes in Nigeria, they were pleading with the Nigerian government to show them pictures of the lifeless body of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They were not satisfied with the dead bodies of 28 men littered across the compound of our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Even his dog, Jack, was killed. They wanted more blood because they were scared of the caliphate. They were scared of the bully. They assumed the best way to appease the bully was to support the bully in the act. Hence, they called on the government. Please show us the lifeless body of Nnamdi Kanu. They desecrated the name Biafra. They changed the name Biafra to BIAFRA. All the tribes in Nigeria. They changed the name given to us by God, Biafra. They changed it to BIAFRA. They said our movement for freedom is fraudulent. Hence, Biafra became BIAFRA. And these same people is those you expect us to live with. You claim to be one Nigeria. You claim to be one nation. But over and over and over again, you keep on allowing the Biafrans to be the scapegoat of that so-called Nigeria. We say we are done with it. The days of killing us is enough, is over. The days of making us to look like slaves in our own land is over. The days of making us to play a second fiddle is over. The days of controlling our resources and making us to look like beggars, like paupers, making sure we are not around the corridors of power, making sure the might of the federal government is not felt in the land of Biafra, making sure that your so-called monetary and fiscal policies are not felt in the land of Biafra. You make your revenue from the sales of crude oil owned by Biafra. But when the government is doing their so-called projects, you will never find them in the land of Biafra. Their plan was to make us to become the beggars of Nigeria, to become the paupers, the artisans of Nigeria, what they call the Almajiri culture. We were the first supposed to go through the Almajiri culture because after the first Biafran war, what they did was any amount of money you have with you in your bank, they don't care. If you were a millionaire, after the war, you were given 20 pounds. If you were a thousandaire, after the war, you lost all your money and the government will only give you 20 pounds. The intention of that was for you to eat that money, spend that money and die. Spend that money and become a pauper. Spend the money and beg for mercy. spend the money and become a beggar of Nigeria. Spend the money and become the Almajiri of Nigeria. Spend the money and become useless in your own land. Spend the money and then you'll be left with nothing to express yourself as a people, to build your own economy, because all your wealth was stolen after the war. But as God will have it, the God of Biafra is a real God. The God of Biafra is merciful. And the God of Biafra is a just God. As we speak in the year 2024 of our Lord, today, in the hardship happening all across that so-called Nigeria, everybody is crying that they are hungry. Everybody is crying that they are poor, apart from the Biafrans. Because the God that we serve is a living God. What they call economic hardship today, we went through that 20-folds in 1970, after the so-called end of the Civil War. So what they are crying about to today, saying they are hungry, to us it is child's play. It is child's play. For the fact they've not started eating grass, for the fact they've not started eating rats as protein, it's still a child's play. Because our people went through that. Your government put us through that for 3 years. There was a food blockade. And now we are saying never again. What don't kill you makes you stronger. And with the Biafrans, we have come out through that ordeal as a better people, as a stronger people, as a people destined for greatness. I digress. Let's get back to it.
The Prime Minister has made remarkable progress and has outsmarted the Nigerian system in many ways. The Prime Minister has done this with the self-referendum. He has done this with opening diplomatic liaison offices around the world. And I think by establishing a proper Biafran lobby in Washington, D.C., the Prime Minister has delivered his master stroke. And if you can look at the Nigerian media and the social media, you will see that this is something that's been highly publicized. And I think this is because they understand the moment that the United States starts to gain more support for the Biafran cause, it will be a game changer. Because when the United States leads, other countries follow.
That's right.
Congressman Moran and myself are your voice to the U.S. Congress.
Amen
your
to that. Congress, Jim Moran and ELIAS, they are our voice in the U.S. Congress. And I will quote him. He said, when America leads, the world they follow. He also said Simon Ekpa has outsmarted the Nigerian government by making sure we did all what we had to do. We now have our liaison offices around the whole world. We have the cabinet, we have a government, we have our own states. And now, lobbies around the whole world are coming. Countries are supporting the Biafran movement. What they don't know is bigger than them. What they don't know is bigger than them. What we are doing is spiritual. They call Simon Ekpa a small boy. They called him a baby. He's a child hiding in Finland, they said. But that puppy, that boy you called a puppy, you forgot what the pastor told you guys when he was screaming, dialogue now, dialogue now. I see a puppy. I see a young puppy. Dialogue now. This puppy, when the puppy looks back, there are people with him. The more he looks back, the more he grows wild features. Dialogue now, dialogue now. But the Nigerian government, they play to be deaf, dumb, and blind. They assumed kidnapping our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, means Biafra is gone and Biafra is dead. They thought the power of Biafra lies solely on the hands of Nnamdi Kanu. So all they did was to take billions of dollars to spend round. People were bribed. Those close to Nnamdi Kanu were bribed. And they got him kidnapped in Kenya. And they assumed that was the end of Biafra. Unknown to them, oh my God, that there was a man destined. There was a Joshua. Oh, I have to go spiritual on this one. There was a Joshua in the time of Moses. Also in the time of Nnamdi Kanu, there was a disciple who told him, you came live on air and you cried in tears. You said you begged God for 100 men. I will make your job easier because in me, I am 15:1. Just like in the scriptures, when you go to the Bible and an angel was asked, what is your name? He told them in response, he said, my name is Legion because we are many. So for you to assume a person is only one or a man can only be one, you are making a mistake. We can be many. Nnamdi Kanu asked for 100 men. Simon Ekpa made the job easier by saying in him, he declared he was 15:1. Instantly, 50% of the task was solved. And we thank God the other men around came around to complete that 100 men. Oh, happy days. We just thank the God of Biafra. I thank the God that we are able to see this day. Today, for the first time, you are hearing how the lobbyists are speaking. They are going the extra mile. They ain't just here for the money. They are here for a mission because they love mankind. America, may God bless America. We thank America for stepping in at a time like this. Let's continue.
To the White House, your voice to the State Department, your voice to the highest offices in this great land. And we will not stop until victory is achieved.
My God, have mercy. Take it back. Listen.
A personal duty to assist him. Already, the Prime Minister has made remarkable progress and has outsmarted the Nigerian system in many ways. The Prime Minister has done this with the self-referendum. He has done this with opening diplomatic liaison offices around the world. And I think by establishing a proper Biafran lobby in Washington, D.C., the Prime Minister has delivered his master stroke. And if you can look at the Nigerian media and the social media, you will see that this is something that's been highly publicized. And I think this is because they understand the moment that the United States starts to gain more support for the Biafran cause, it will be a game changer. Because when the United States leads, other countries follow. Congressman Moran and myself are your voice to the U.S. Congress, your voice to the White House, your voice to the State Department, your voice to the highest offices in this great land. And we will not stop until victory is achieved. Long live a free, independent, and sovereign Biafra. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
Wow, God have mercy. Thank you so much, Mr. Elias. I'm in tears already. I just have to hold back the tears. They are our voice, and they will not stop until Biafra is achieved. My fellow Biafrans, do I need to say no? Do I need to say more? Need I say more? You've heard it. At this point, I want to appreciate our Prime Minister. I want to appreciate the cabinet. I want to appreciate all those with office portfolios doing a great job. Simon Ekpa, may the God of Biafra continue to bless and reward you. You have given hope to the hopeless. You have given voice to the voiceless. You have given those who were condemned to die. You have given them life. Obatobie, Agune Chamber, Wakoma, a good man. You are indeed a good man. Just like in the days of old, in your Bible, they said, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that from whomsoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Today I am declaring that for the fact that Nnamdi Kanu loved us so much, he gave us his most beloved disciple and told us to listen to him. Because whomsoever listeneth to Mazi Simon Ekpa will forever live to see Biafra. I said it. Forget the naysayers. Forget the distractors. Forget those who give a dog a bad name just to hang it. Forget those disturbing Finland government about Simon Ekpa. Forget those trying to do the hanky-panky, do the hocus-pocus, do the black magic and voodoo against our prime minister. We know they are doing it. Forget those who are even in the government, playing the game, the role of a double agent. You all be fished out. Forget those. Keep your eyes and focus on the rising sun. Because from the 2nd of December this year, we shall rejoice, because we shall be in Biafra. Oh, happy days when Biafra comes. Oh, happy days when Biafra comes. We shall rejoice in the sun, because we are children of the rising sun. Oh, happy days when Biafra comes. We shall rejoice in the sun, because we are children of the rising sun. From me, from here, for now, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I remain yours truly, your brother, Biafra, Superstars Media. God bless you. Bye-bye. Yeah. Check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Lugard. Bloomington, Lord Lugard. Hannah's Wild Flora Show. 1914 amalgamation is what we dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation. Ever since annihilation. Nepotism is nonsense. You and you, clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Oduduwa, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now. Yeah.